This will go down as one of the worst trades in the history of their football team and their organization.
Why do I feel like I'm telling my grandma to make sure she turns off the burner after she makes her tea on the stove?
I hate Jerry Jones!
Why are they trading him to a team that has knocked them out of the playoffs in each of the last 3 years?
Jerry!
There's no way they're allowing Micah Parsons to go anywhere.
Cowboys are trading linebacker Micah Parsons to the Green Bay Packers.
The man has no soul. He fired the late, great Tom Landry, too.
Good organizations do not trade Hall of Fame players in their primes. Right now, the Cowboys are not a good organization.
Jerry Jones felt like this was his modern-day version of a Herschel Walker trade.
There's no question that I could have signed him in April.
So why didn't you, Jerry? Why didn't you just sign him in April?
I haven't gone that deep into my thinking about why I didn't do it and when I should have done it and all that. Really, I'm not, and I'm not trying to be cute.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. You didn't really think it through, did you? Anytime you can turn a strength into a gaping weakness, you should do it in the NFL. The thing that should scare Cowboys fans the most is Skip Bayless loving this move.
And my gut reaction, as you might guess, is good riddance. And good luck, Green Bay.
Now, the contrast of emotions that are coursing through the veins of Cowboys fans and Packers fans is fascinating.
We got Micah Parsons. I did this in Madden. I didn't think it would happen in real life.
Who is Kenny Clark? Get Jerry Jones out of there by any means possible.
Nobody ever really knows who won a trade until we see the results on the field. And depending on the trade itself, it could take a few years for that to really play out. Rarely do we get to witness one team get knocked the fuck out and lose by unanimous decision and have their damn house repossessed in the process like we just saw the Cowboys do when they traded Micah Parsons to the Packers for 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark. This trade does not guarantee the Packers will win a Super Bowl, but it makes them a serious contender, and for Dallas, it makes them a pretender.
Correct. That was correct.
Okay. Today, here on That's Good Sports, hi, Brandon Perna, who many call the Jerry Jones of YouTube, will break down how this is the new worst trade ever, how it will rival that of Deshaun Watson and Russell Wilson, and really dig into the sad state the Cowboys currently exist in, why there's no hope, and how this trade can actually help the Packers. That's Good Sports starts now.
We didn't come together.
I want me some glory hole.
That has been on my mind since all spring.
I want me some glory hole.
And that goes both ways. Goes them and me.
I never felt it.
A little tongue-in-cheek.
You guys are crazy. We've crossed 400 signups with today's sponsor, Prize Picks, and you did it by using my code TGS. Now, I said a week 1 lineup. I'm taking more passing yards on Bo Nix, Aaron Rodgers in a revenge game, and Joe Flacco versus that Bengals defense, which was just cursed in the last episode of Power Rankings. So make sure you use my code TGS when you download the Prize Picks app. Make your first $5 deposit, and Prize Picks will give you $50 in lineups. You can follow me on Prize Picks and see every play I make there. I'm following back the first 500 people that follow me on the app. Also, the Dak Prescott Max discount is good until game day. So make sure to take advantage of his half passing yard for week 1. And for Cowboys fans, this is all you got right now, this half yard max discount. Again, we crossed 400 signups. The next goal, 600. I get big bonuses for every 200 signups we generate with my code. The goal this season is over 6,000 because we're gonna make that X realize how much it stings to let me go. And my new partner, ooh, we are looking good together, aren't we, Prize Picks? Sports.
Me made a commitment to Michael this spring. Micah.
And I gotta say thank you guys We easily crossed over to 775,000 subscribers. The goal was to get there before the season started, and we did it. So I just want to say thank you. I appreciate the support. It's the only thing that fuels me here. That and cocaine. In 2022, when the Broncos traded for Russell Wilson, I was ecstatic.
The Broncos are getting Russell Wilson! Suck it, haters! Suck it, haters!
Most of you know that. Most of you enjoyed watching my accelerated descent into madness when that trade blew up in my face.
What if Russell Wilson kinda sucks?
He's not gonna kinda suck it, haters! Thank you. And fuck you. What you may not realize is that when the Broncos traded for Russell Wilson, the logical part of my brain, which I do try and hide from all of you, said yes, that is a lot to give up even for a quarterback. I understood that the Broncos gave up a ton of draft capital, 3 players, and a shit ton of money to extend Russell Wilson, which is what one team has to do when they believe they are trading for an elite player, a destiny-altering player. And when a team has to give up that much for a player, you need at least some people asking simple questions like, is that too much to give up for Russell Wilson? When Russ left, there were plenty of analysts and Seahawks fans saying, we love Russ, but we're okay moving on from him. It's his time to go. He has flaws in his game. There was a large part of the collective football world that understood the move at the time for both sides. I have seen none of that. None of that in the Micah Parsons trade. It is a one-sided affair at the moment.
This is exactly what I was scared and worried about.
I don't want to watch football this season. Literally, the season's over before it's even started.
Micah Parsons is amazing. I can't believe this. Yeah, this sucks.
There are no Cowboys fans saying, yeah, we needed to do this. Micah was a problem. Micah's old. Micah's declining. Micah actually isn't as good as the national narrative suggests.
Good riddance.
And there are 0 people questioning the compensation the Packers gave up. None. Everyone's like, that's all Green Bay needed to give up to get Micah Parsons? Really? Are you fucking sure that's all they had to give up? Because it seems like there's a goddamn typo somewhere.
Reggie, this is God. I want you to play in Green Bay.
Now, yes, the contract is a little steep at the moment. 2 first-round picks, though, those are going to be mid to low 20s at best, probably pushing 30, 31, 32 if Micah balls out. Yeah, I'll take that deal 1,000,000 times over. You can even make the argument that the Packers have actually drafted better players in the 2nd round over the past few years, so I don't think this affects them negatively. My editor, Johnny Barks, was out there making edits of Micah and Reggie White simply because he's so excited about the trade. This is truly unprecedented, especially in August. For Green Bay, how much better does this actually make them? Not a lot, if I'm being honest, but only because I think their defense was better than it gets credit for last season. They were 7th in yards allowed, 6th in points allowed. The knock on them is they weren't great at getting consistent quarterback pressure. Well, their 45 sacks were actually tied for 6th best overall. Guess who had the third most sacks last season? The Cowboys. So when I say Micah doesn't make the Packers a lot better, it's because the defense was pretty good. It's also to mislead you because it makes them fucking great. Green Bay 17 picks last season, tied with the Steelers, 3rd best. A big part of that, of course, was the addition of Xavier McKinney, their free agent splash signing in 2024. It's not even Micah's 12.5 sacks that Green Bay really needs, and he's good for 12.5 sacks every single year. What Micah brings is constant pressure on opposing quarterbacks. Despite their solid sack numbers, Rashawn Gary led the team with just 47 quarterback pressures. Oh, and guess who they get to keep? Rashawn Gary for some fucking reason. To have the foundation of a championship defense, you need a guy getting a lot more than 47 pressures. Micah had 70 pressures last season, and he missed 4 games. Micah is going to enable the Packers to get to opposing quarterbacks without sending extra rushers, and it will be those additional 70 pressures he brings that's the real difference, not just sacks for the Packers defense. Converted corner Bo Melton's job got a lot freaking easier, and whatever his interception total is listed at right now, I'd go higher because Micah makes opposing quarterbacks do dumb shit, and the guy those opposing quarterbacks are going to test when they're doing dumb shit is going to be Bo Melton. Oh, and by the way, Micah led the NFL in pressures in 2023 with 103. He can miss 4 games and still be the Packers' most effective edge rusher. I know what you're thinking. What about 2022? He only had 90 pressures. Sad, I know. Unfortunately, that was tied with Nick Bosa for most in the NFL. That's why Packertown, USA is elated today.
To the Packers of all teams!
And why Dallas is mourning like JFK just got shot in the fucking head again, and why Jerry Jones will never leave his house again.
Me made a commitment to Michael this spring.
One reason you try and make decisions like these in March versus August is so you can attempt to replace a player like Micah in the draft, which happens in April every year, Jerry. It happens in April, the draft. A move like this means you're not serious about the current season. I am thoroughly enjoying the spin the Jerry Jones loyalists are trying to put on this for Jerry.
But what does he do behind the scenes to the culture of who the Dallas Cowboys are? For Dallas not willing to sign him, it must have been significant enough to say, hey, let's get rid of this guy, even though he's a great player, and let's try to build this thing kind of like the little engine that could, us against the world type of thing.
And to that Kirk Herbstreit, I'll just say thank God the Cowboys have George Pickens, the glue of the locker room as he's known, to make sure that the attitude in Dallas is just right. Jerry's backtracking is honestly more sad than funny to me. I feel like we're just watching an old, powerful man deteriorate in front of our eyes. Where else have I seen that? And it wasn't funny, but we all pretended like it wasn't a big deal. Oh yeah, every day of our collective lives. Jerry seems permanently confused.
I don't think there's any question. Once you are together,
I want me some glory hole.
Gained a Pro Bowl player in an area that we had big concern in.
No offense to Kenny Clark, but never have the words, "we gained a Pro Bowl player," rang so hollow. Jerry said he received unanimous consent from all of the coaches and decision makers in the Dallas Cowboys organization on this trade.
It was a unanimous decision to make this deal today?
Yes.
Who was involved in that process?
The entire coaching and the representatives of the entire coaching, as well as our entire front office.
Normally, I am pro-jobs. I support people not getting fired, but I would personally fire every single person in that organization who agreed that this is a good idea. Actually, this is a good litmus test for whether or not you know anything about football.
Nothing says we can't use some of those picks right now to go get somebody right now. Don't rule that out.
Who are you going to get right now with them picks, Jerry? Who? Nobody's trying to deal their premier edge rushers in August, September. Who are you going to get? Most teams are working the books to find ways to have enough money to pay players like Micah right now. If you package the picks you just acquired to trade for another player, then you negate everything you just said about acquiring multiple Pro Bowl players via the draft with these premium picks.
Those draft picks could get us, I'm talking top Pro Bowl type players, could. Not necessarily, you're going to be quick to say, you won't necessarily get those players. You got to draft them or acquire them.
Jerry, I think, is just saying any thought that pops into his mind right now. And yes, here is your obligatory Luka Doncic reference. At least the Mavericks had a chance to win the rigged NBA draft lottery. The Cowboys don't get that chance. Outside of losing the on-field production, this fucks up a locker room full of guys who are heading into a season with a new head coach. Remove the money. Remove the bad trade comp. And how August is the worst time to do a blockbuster trade. Remove all that, and the timing is exponentially bad because the absolute shittiest thing you can do to a new head coach, besides, say, have a horse kick his quarterback in the face on September 1st, is trade away a cornerstone defensive player 1 week before your season starts.
He's an unstoppable force on the edge.
A player like Parsons, it's a long week for the tackles.
You can scheme pressure as well. And I think Coach Eberflus has been really good at that in terms of using scheme to get pressure on the quarterback.
Good luck schematically dialing up 100 quarterback pressures that you didn't even have to think about when Micah Parsons was on the field. Here's a metaphor. I know you've been training for this marathon for the last 7 months, Brian, but I'm going to have to cut off your left foot and also give you a laxative the night before your 10K. But you can schematically dial up a way to run on one foot while shitting profusely the entire run, can't you? Can't you? Is this the power of manifestation or the power of love?
Is there anybody particular around the league that you feel like should come into the organization, can make an impact for y'all?
I mean, the dude sitting right next to me, man. You know what I mean? That'd be pretty cool.
The trade has pushed the Packers over the Lions as NFC North betting favorites. That's insane for the acquisition of a single defensive player. Conversely, the Cowboys went from 50-1 to 60-1 odds to win the Super Bowl. Their worst odds at this time of the year since 2014. If we find out that Jerry Jones bet $1 billion on the Packers to win the Super Bowl, this will suddenly make a lot of sense. If we find out Jerry Jones stole Micah Parsons' stem cells and already has a Parsons clone developing in a lab, in Jerry world, this will make sense.
It was in the best interest of our organization, not only the future, but right now, this season.
When Jerry says trading Micah actually makes the Cowboys better, he certainly doesn't mean for this upcoming season, where the mathematical probabilities disagree with him, right? Look, I would honestly give Jerry a little slack if Damarian Overshown wasn't recovering from an ACL tear, and an MCL tear, and a PCL tear. The guy you could point to and say he's going to step up is recovering from a knee injury so bad that nobody truly knows if he'll be able to play this season. The last beloved Cowboys edge rusher to leave was DeMarcus Ware, and he joined the Denver Broncos and Von Miller to go on to win a Super Bowl, and I feel like history's about to repeat itself. How rare is a trade like this? Well, Adam Schefter noted, Micah Parsons is one of 29 first-round picks in the common draft era who was selected to the Pro Bowl in each of his first 4 seasons. He now will become the only one to play for a different team in his 5th season. How stubborn is Jerry Jones? Well, let's let Jane Slater tell us.
Micah tells me he and his agent reapproached, and Jerry told him, quote, play on the 5th or leave, which Jerry confirmed last night.
That's the most damning thing from this entire saga. Hearing Micah tried one last time to make the contract work and Jerry just said, no, Micah, you already hurt my feelings. I can't in good conscience give you the rightful contract because my fucking ego's so fragile. I just can't do it, Micah. I can't. 'Cause I'm soulless.
The man has no soul.
Hearing that, as a Cowboys fan, just gotta suck. And I've been trying, like I said, to find reasons to sympathize with Jerry. But after hearing this, I have none. We've seen players disgruntled with their contracts before, but never have I seen an owner like this refuse to work out a deal simply because his feelings got hurt. And then take it so far as to screw himself out of proper compensation for one of the best defensive players alive. The dumbest thing he said is the Cowboys will be better without Micah Parsons.
Plus, have a team this year that would give us a better chance, dare I say that? But absolutely, it's not a zero that we're dealing with as far as how much better that we are trying to be, even not having Micah.
Better without Micah? Yeah, I bet Phillip Rivers would be better at making children without his dick too, right, Jerry?
No contraception.
If I could just get rid of these pesky little teeth, chewing food would get a whole lot easier for me too, Jerry.
This trade was not just thought about today. This trade has been going on in our minds and our strategies and being talked about. It's been going on all spring.
No, it wasn't, Jerry.
And yet they put the money together in 12 seconds after you were bloviating about it for 5 months.
I understand $47 million per season is a lot for an edge rusher, sure. Jerry could have paid Micah probably $43 million per year, but that's no longer relevant. Even $47 per year won't be crazy in 2 years. And the thing nobody ever brings up when a guy like Micah asks to be the highest paid player at his position is the 4 years that a guy like Micah played and far exceeded his value. Team owners get to exploit extremely talented rookies for 4 to 5 years when they hit. The trade-off is at marquee positions, you then overpay a little to keep that guy.
He was an asset that we got 4 great years out of. But when you are talking about making a contract the kind that he got and for the future, that's quite a commitment. Firmly made a commitment to Micah this spring, and paid him, and to pay him.
I'm asking myself why I'm so surprised. Why does this feel like the most shocking move in August since Andrew Luck retired? Jerry has done this before. We did a 55-minute video about the Dallas Cowboys and their run in the 90s, and one of my biggest takeaways was the ridiculous ways in which Jerry Jones made decisions. His firing of Jimmy Johnson after back-to-back Super Bowl wins is actually dumber than trading Micah Parsons, but Jerry luckily won a Super Bowl anyway, and he's been operating like that type of lightning in a bottle can keep getting harnessed for him. Even though firing a back-to-back Super Bowl winning head coach is asinine, it worked out because at the time the Cowboys roster was so incredibly talented they won their 3rd Super Bowl anyway. Winning that 3rd Super Bowl ruined the Cowboys' future because Jerry has unrealistic expectations on how you can win in the league. Jerry has continued to operate his business like he has that roster of players from the early 90s. He fired Jimmy Johnson for the simple reason Jimmy Johnson was getting too much credit and attention for the Cowboys' success. So watching Jerry let Parsons go because Jerry felt offended that Micah reneged on an alleged handshake deal should not be a surprise to me. But as a fan of football, as a fan of understanding that when you draft exceptional players, you keep them, this goes against everything that makes sense to me. And therefore, I am indeed shocked.
And a little bit of the way Herschel Walker may have had his greatest contribution to the Cowboys. What he brought to us when he left could be a tremendous thing for our fans and the success of this team.
This is not like the Herschel Walker trade either, Jerry. You have to get an insane return to even mention that trade. Not only is this not like the Herschel Walker trade, but you essentially handed a gun over to the home invader so he could continue robbing you. Herschel Walker netted Dallas 5 players and 8 draft picks. Also, the Herschel Walker trade was Jimmy Johnson's idea. And 35 fucking years later, Jerry still can't stand that he didn't get the credit for that trade. Jerry validating all of this by saying we need to get better at stopping the run on defense.
We need to stop the run.
Well, guys, I'm trying to find different words other than insane to describe this.
And we haven't been able to stop the run at key times for several years.
Okay, Jerry, you pointed out Micah's one minor flaw as a player. He's not the best run defender at his position. He graded out similarly to Trey Hendrickson, in fact, in that department. But sure, Jerry, tell yourself whatever you need. You sound like another Jerry, and your son, he just might be your George.
We come up with all these stupid little reasons to break up with these women.
I know, that's what I do.
Also, not to be that guy, but Kenny Clark has graded out more poorly against the run than Micah for 4 straight seasons. Good luck to Kenny. But I think in 5 years, this is sandwiched between the Deshaun Watson and A.J. Brown trade as the worst of the last decade.
We're like children. We're not men.
No, we're not. We're not men.
The only thing King of the Hill got wrong in their new reboot about the dump being taken on Jerry Jones' desk was who did it. Because in real life, Jerry took a dump on his own desk.
Yeah, it happened again.
Thanks for watching That's Good Sports. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. And don't forget to sign up with my code at PrizePicks TGS. We're over 400, on to 600. Let's go.